Are you ready for one of the most unexpected beefs of the year? Because what started as a cheeky tweet from a fast food giant just spiraled into a full-blown controversy involving none other than pop sensation Katy Perry. That's right. Buckle up, because this isn't your average social media drama. This is Wendy's Twitter account versus the pop princess herself, and things got real fast.
Looks like Wendy's does not like Katy Perry. They made a comment.
Yeah.
They said, can we send her back up about when she landed back here?
And when Wendy's jumped in to say, hey, let's send her back, Kesha was like, I'm gonna head straight to Wendy's.
Kesha doesn't like Katy Perry. Katy Perry worked with Dr. Luke.
Totally makes sense, I think. Kesha has a grudge to hold against Katy Perry because of that. We are going to have to come to terms now that they want to make traveling to space like taking a trip to Disney World. Space used to be reserved for the astronauts.
Right, we thought that space was never a tangible thing.
Yeah, you're an astronaut, you're going to space.
Yeah.
Now it's like, well, if you're a rich, famous person that knows Jeff Bezos, you can go.
You might be able to go to
You can
space.
go on an 11-minute trip to the edge.
Like, who wants to trip to
We're
space?
sending Katy Perry up there to flash her new track list to the camera.
Wendy's is so petty. Katy Perry just went to one of the most useless trips in space. And Wendy's replied to this tweet saying, can we send her back? That's not the only one though. Someone said the taste of her cherry starship, and Wendy's replied, when we said women in STEM, this isn't what we meant. After the tweets went viral, a Katy Perry insider allegedly said that she deserves an apology. The insider said that Wendy's went way too far with the comments that they made. She definitively deserves an apology. A recent post on X aimed at Katy Perry were not only disrespectful, but blatantly inappropriate. Then Wendy's came out and they were like, we're not apologizing. They said, we always bring a little spice to our social media, but Wendy's has a ton of respect for Katy Perry and her out of this world talent. This right here was obviously very backhanded. A couple hours later though, Katy Perry came out and said that she regrets her Blue Origin space flight after all of the backlash that she's been getting. Honestly though, shout out to Wendy's because their level of petty is so aspirational, but let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Make sure you follow me for more news updates like this.
Wendy's feuding with Katy Perry was truly not on my bingo card. As we know, Katy Perry returned from space yesterday, and Wendy said, can we send her back? Kesha also jumped on the Wendy's bandwagon, posting this selfie. As we know, Kesha does not like Katy Perry because of Dr. Luke. And Wendy's kept doubling down, even saying things like, I kissed the ground and I liked it, after Katy Perry kissed the ground when she left the capsule. Someone commented, she was only up there for like 10 minutes, right? And Wendy's said, don't shortchange her, it was 11 minutes. Wendy's being a messy diva on all of this is kind of iconic, I'm sorry. Like, they were really standing on their ground. When we said women in STEM, this isn't what we meant. Then saying, I can disassociate for longer than 11 minutes. I'm really not one to put a woman down, but saying something like there is no place like home after being there for 11 minutes is kind of crazy work. I mean, I really do understand the people who are really mad when things like this are happening at the same time. Like, think about the astronauts that were stuck up there for 9 months, seeing the images of Katy Perry coming down and kissing the ground after an 11-minute mission. Like, I don't know. And Gayle King also mentioned that Katy Perry saying what a wonderful world while in the space capsule. It gets worse by the second. This has got to be one of the only instances where someone went to space and came back uncool.
Give me a break. There are now reports saying that Katy Perry might sue Wendy's for their "Can we send her back" tweet after her Blue Origin space flight. Speculation started swirling after Katy Perry's team made an official statement with People magazine saying this was a billion-dollar brand using its platform to publicly demean a woman. Wait, there's more. They went on to say telling a woman that she should be sent back is shameful bullying and reflects a troubling willingness to tear down in today's society. What's worse is that the face of Wendy's is a woman, which makes this decision not just hypocritical, but painfully ironic. So let me get this straight. They're mad that a cartoon woman made a comment about another woman? Then they go on to say that Wendy should do the right thing and issue an apology. Oh, did they? No, not exactly. They said they like to keep their socials spicy and that they respect Katy for her out-of-this-world talent. I think this was really dumb of Katy's team to go to People and try to get Wendy's to apologize, because now you're making me choose Team Katy or Team Wendy, and I'm Team Wendy all the way. What about you? As always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down below.
Wendy's breaks the internet talking about Katy Perry's ride to space. Y'all like the video right here, and check this one out.
I got to get to this. Okay. This ridiculous Blue Origin ride that we've heard about all week long, making headlines. You'd swear these women intercepted a comet headed for Cleveland, Joe. I mean, now one fast food chain has jumped into the mix, responding with this X post. Katy Perry wrote, Katy Perry just returned from space. Wendy posted, Wendy's, the fast food chain. Yeah. Can we send her back? No. Now Wendy's is refusing to apologize.
That's hilarious.
Despite the backlash, a spokesman said at Wendy's, they said, we always bring a little spice to our socials, but Wendy's has a ton of respect for Katy Perry and her out-of-the-world talent. Respect aside, Joe. Why is the little redheaded girl getting so angry?
I don't know. I thought it was great. Am I going to get into trouble now? They're really going after those girls. I thought it was nice. Father of 3 daughters, women power. They go up in space. Were they really in space? We don't know.
That all it takes?
My favorite. I said it was great. My favorite moment: the door that they accidentally opened.
No hell.
They opened the door, and then Jeff Bezos comes over and goes, "Here goes with the ladder."
No, here's how you do it.
But I mean, really, I know I'm an older guy. If you date younger, how cool is it to say, to your fiance, hey, you want to go to space, baby?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's what that was about.
I guess. But boy, Wendy's getting frosty. That's all.
Breaking news out of Hollywood. Astronaut Katy Perry, formerly known as a pop star, is very upset with Wendy's because in a social media post on X, they wrote this. Now, it's being reported that she is very upset with Wendy's, and Wendy's has decided they're not going to apologize, stating they simply like to keep their social media a little spicy. But she feels that what they wrote was very disrespectful, and she's deserving of an apology, because she feels so connected to love. Now, I don't know about you, but I get way more disrespectful comments on this social media app than can we send her back? Life is tough, Katy. Get a helmet or a space helmet.
It probably won't come as a surprise because it's been all over the internet, but not everyone has been impressed with the all-female Blue Origin spaceflight, including fast food chain Wendy's. So the drama happened on X yesterday when Pop Crave posted a picture of Katy and said that she'd returned from space. And then Wendy's dropped a comment saying, can we send her back? Which, if you know Wendy's Twitter account, they're kind of known for their snarky and sassy remarks, but I've never really seen them target someone like that before. And the drama doesn't end there. Kesha joined in on the insult by posting a picture of herself smiling and drinking from a Wendy's cup. And she didn't caption the photo, so there's no way to actually prove that it was in response to Wendy's tweet and a dig at Katy Perry. But a lot of people think it was because Katy Perry actually collaborated with producer Dr. Luke on her latest album. And a lot of people had issue with it, especially people like Kesha, because it's the same Dr. Luke that actually had an ugly legal battle with Kesha. She sued him for abuse, discrimination, and breach of contract. So kind of makes sense why she would be kind of partnering up with Wendy's on this dig, but who knew sipping from a Wendy's cup could mean so much?
The internet has been coming for Katy Perry lately, and it's been so funny to watch. But Cameron Westcott, who was on The Real Housewives of Dallas, she also just did something snarky toward Katy Perry, and it totally reminded me of the drama between Cameron Westcott and Katy Perry. Let's get into it. Just for fun, one of the tweets that Wendy's made in relation to Katy Perry doing that stupid space travel that was millions of dollars that didn't need to be spent. This one, which was my personal favorite, that said, can we send her back? I don't know who runs the Wendy's account on Twitter, but raises all around. Cam posted this with the caption, never felt so connected to Wendy's. So let's get into why Cam and Katy Perry have been fighting. This is Carl Westcott, which is Cam's father-in-law. Carl purchased his home back in 2020, and shortly after purchasing the home, he ended up selling it to Katy Perry in Orlando Bloom. Problem was, when he sold the house, not only was he in his 80s, but the Westcotts, his children, alleged that he was not of sound mind. He had just had back surgery, so he was taking various painkillers. He also had or has Huntington's disease. So there were just a lot of things working against him mentally. They had a lot of back and forth in the courts, but essentially the Westcotts claim that the dad, the father-in-law, was not of sound mind because of the various reasons that I've already said. Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom's camp said that he totally was of sound mind. He signed the paper. He was very much so coherent. He's just having regret now with the sale. Courts ended up siding with Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom. They were given the keys, and now they are lodging a countersuit towards the Westcotts for emotional damage, for holding up the sale process, for delaying any sort of repairs that needed made on the home that they weren't able to do because of being caught up in the court system. Every so often, Cam throws some shade Katy Perry's way because she essentially, in her opinion, stole her goddamn house. And you know what? That's just really great reminder that all roads will always lead to Bravo. But in all seriousness, this is a really sad story. Cam said that her father-in-law, which is Carl, really wanted to gracefully pass away in peace in his home. And that's his dying wish, which is likely not going to happen considering the keys are with the Perry Bloom camp, whatever the real names are. Yeah, sad story all around. But yeah, all roads lead to Bravo.
If you are a regular person and you want to hate on Katy Perry, that's one thing. But if you're a restaurant, that's weird. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, the other day Katy Perry and a bunch of other girl boss queens went to the moon for reasons I still am unsure of. And in response to some Pop Crave tweet, Wendy said, can we send her back? And they made other multiple tweets shading Katy Perry, and that's fucking weird. Like, something about a fast food chain having beef with a celebrity online on Twitter sounds like something that was made out of some AI generated Black Mirror episode. It's so stupid you can't even believe it's real. And this is not even in defense of Katy Perry at all whatsoever. But again, if you as a regular person don't like Katy Perry, nothing wrong with that. But for a corporation, a multinational corporation, to be tweeting about Katy Perry like there's some 20-year-old stan on Twitter, it's very odd. And listen, I have quite literally been on Twitter for 14 years. I know Wendy's is known for their unhinged, crazy tweets, but this is just odd to me. And I don't know why, but as of recently, these companies are looking so thirsty online and saying the most embarrassing things. I genuinely think that's a weird thing to do. And honestly, aside from the Duolingo owl, I think almost every company that does things like that is really cringy. I don't find it relatable. I don't find it funny. It doesn't make me want to go to your restaurant more. I'm just can y'all just invest in some traditional advertising? Can we get some display ads? Can we get a good spokesperson, a funny commercial? Why are you trying to get into Stan Wars on Twitter? Saying crazy things on TikTok? Please, you are a company. Stop that. Especially because it just kept going and doubling down, and it's just it's getting weird. And despite all that, I do think it's corny that Katy Perry is going back and forth with Wendy's and asking Wendy's for an apology. That, okay, they should have given you an apology regardless, but asking it, asking the bitch in the pigtails on the avatar, girl.
Wendy's and Kesha are now feuding with Katy Perry online after her trip to and from space yesterday. It all started when the Wendy's corporate Twitter responded to this Pop Crave tweet saying that Katy has returned. Wendy's said, can we send her back? Also, before people come for me, I'm trying to stay neutral in this. I did not like this. It was a screenshot. Because Wendy's also seems like it has its own personal vendetta against Katy Perry, or at least the social media manager does, because they were tweeting a lot about her saying the taste of her cherry starship, and Wendy said, when we said women in STEM, this is not what we meant. At Wendy's remains undefeated. I can disassociate for longer than 11 minutes, which was the amount of time it took them to get to and from space yesterday. Another one that said, I kissed the ground and I liked it after Katy Perry came off the spaceship and kissed the ground. And in my personal opinion, this really crosses a line with how messy a brand can be on social media. To me, it feels a little bit unprofessional. I know that they probably view it all in good fun, but when you're targeting one person as a corporation account, is it the best thing for your professional image? Probably not. But Kesha then went to Wendy's and specifically posted this photo where she's holding the Wendy's cup. You can see the logo, again, on purpose, because Katy Perry and Kesha do not like each other, the Dr. Luke of it all. One thing I saw on Twitter was people saying pop stars are being messy on Twitter. Again, that is a recession indicator, but it all stemmed from the Wendy's tweets, which to me, again, felt a little unprofessional. Whether or not you liked Katy Perry's voyage to space, I have my own thoughts on the entire space voyage itself, and literally questioning what the actual point of it was, but I want to know your thoughts on this.
So I'd like to address the whole Wendy's Katy Perry debacle. It's very serious. It's fucking hilarious. Wendy's posted this photo. I kissed the ground and I liked it. She came back with, you know, Wendy's didn't make a joke, they made a choice. They doubled down, Wendy's. God love them. I love their social media people. You know, can we send her back? When we wanted women in STEM, this isn't what we meant. And then she fired back with, you know, they're a billion-dollar company using their platform to demean a woman. Okay, this is where it gets dangerous. We can't not call out tone-deaf idiots simply because of gender. They're not criticizing her for being a woman, they're criticizing her for being a fucking idiot. She's an idiot. Gayle King is an idiot. Gayle King, just being an astronaut. You're not fucking astronauts. Astronauts train for like 15 years. They're mostly military people. They go through rigorous physical and psychological testing. You went up on an 11-minute fucking tourist space company for profit. And Lauren Sanchez, you're a fucking cunt. You think you're doing this, all the science programs around the country and kids for science. You sat at Trump's fucking inaugural and he's dismantling the Department of Education. He's trying to dumb down our children, and you're sitting there saying you're doing this for science. You're all a bunch of cunts. Y'all just need to go back to space and stay there.
Wendy's has refused to apologize to Katy Perry. So when Katy Perry went on her little space mission to hold flowers in space and stare into the camera, I guess, Wendy's made a tweet basically just saying we should leave Katy Perry in space. You know, they're probably thinking of that tweet longer than Katy Perry was actually in space. Anyways, this tweet caused a lot of controversy, especially since Kesha jumped in agreeing with Wendy's without like straight up agreeing with Wendy's. And because of all the controversy, people started calling on Wendy's to apologize to Katy Perry. Basically, they're saying Wendy's has no reason to beef with Katy Perry. Now, Wendy's actually did end up responding to this whole situation, but they refused to actually apologize. Let me tell y'all their statement. They said they have, quote, a ton of respect for Katy Perry and her out-of-this-world talent. I see what you did there, Wendy's. But that was it. They never actually said sorry to Katy. And now there's like a lot of Katy Perry fans basically saying they're gonna boycott Wendy's. I mean, I'm sure Wendy's is gonna miss the 2 Katy Perry fans in 2025. I don't know, she might have a new fan base in space now. But if that's the case, I doubt they'd be going to Wendy's, you know, regardless. But what do you guys think?
Y'all, why is Wendy's coming for Katy Perry's neck? This says Katy Perry has returned from space. And Wendy's said, can we send her back? And then also Pop Base's tweet, Katy Perry seemingly kisses the ground after returning from space. Then Wendy's quote, I kissed the ground and I liked it. I mean, not shady, but... And then Kesha posted a picture of her drinking Wendy's, and a lot of people did not like that. But anyway, some of Wendy's other tweets, the taste of her cherry starship. When we said we want women in STEM, this isn't what we meant. Child, the owner is having fun. Weak. Let's send you to space and leave you there, Smorg. And she kinda clocked. And this one, why is she acting like she just came back from exploring a different planet? She realized there's no biggie bags on the moon. Now y'all did Wendy spill? I don't really eat there that much. Good one, Wendy. I'm a woman. Send me to space. But anyways, y'all, what are y'all thoughts on Wendy? Is she a shady bitch, nobody likes her or her food? Or did she spill?
I was today years old when I discovered that Wendy's, the fast food company, has beef with Katy Perry. I'm a firm believer that Gen Z is running all these companies' Twitter accounts because this exchange was just really crazy. The page Pop Crave tweeted, Katy Perry has returned from space with this really weird portrait image of her, and then Wendy said, can we send her back, please? What? Followed by a reply to the tweet, Katy Perry kissing the ground. And Wendy said, I kissed the ground and I liked it. Then someone wrote, Wendy's remains undefeated, to which Wendy said, I can stay disassociated for more than 11 minutes, making fun of them going to space for 11 minutes. All in all, what a fucking Monday. Like, the fact that Katy Perry is out here posting portraits of her return from space, we live in Black Mirror. That's all I can say about this. We are living in Black Mirror. Bye.
Now, Wendy's, you know you're being extra messy, because why are you trying to send Katy Perry back to space? Now, I didn't didn't realize how many people didn't like Katy Perry until I kept seeing all these posts in regards to their flight. As you guys know, they sent the first group of women to a suborbital mission by Blue Origin. And Gayle King was seen here talking about how Katy Perry was guest seating on the flight. And somebody replied back and said, no wonder she came back. No wonder she came back so quickly. And I wish that was the end of the beef, because shout out to Pop Crave, they had posted this image of Katy Perry, the first image taken from her after she had landed. And somehow Wendy's found the message itself in the comment section. Now underneath that post, Wendy said, can we send her back? Not sending her back, friend. Now after that post by Wendy's had gone viral, Kesha had posted this, and it was her, I guess, kikiing, sipping on a Wendy's shake. Now, I'm not familiar with the long-standing beef between Katy Perry and Kesha, but let me look it up real quick. And shout out to the Hollywood Reporter, because they're stating that the reason why Kesha and Katy Perry are clashing is because Katy Perry decided to work with Dr. Luke. Now, if you guys know, Dr. Luke was only the masters to Kesha, and he was accused thoroughly of SAing her and locking her into her contract where she couldn't get out. So hearing that another female artist is working with Dr. Luke, I believe that's where the clash began. Yeah, I'm definitely on Team Kesha for this, because what is you doing, Katy Perry? And why is you singing in space?
The never-frozen beef between Wendy's and Katy Perry is not over, and you won't believe what a source close to the singer said to them. As you probably know by now, the Wendy's Twitter account, known for its shady and funny tweets, tweeted, quote, can we send her back, when it was reported that Katy Perry landed from space. And now a source close to the singer is demanding an apology from Wendy's, calling the tweet blatantly inappropriate. The source continues, Wendy's didn't make a joke, they made a choice. Their recent posts on X aimed at Katy Perry were not only disrespectful, but blatantly inappropriate. This wasn't harmless banter, this was a billion-dollar brand using its platform to publicly demean a woman. When billion-dollar brands join in, it's irresponsible. Wendy's did respond to people with a comment that was positive, but not exactly an apology. They said, we always bring a little spice to our socials, but Wendy's has a ton of respect for Katy Perry and her out-of-this-world talent. The source continues to add that Wendy's is not adding to the conversation, they're dragging it down, and this kind of behavior contributes to a culture where women are punished for standing out, or a woman daring to do something different is a target. What's worse is that the face of Wendy's is a woman, which makes this decision not just hypocritical, but painfully ironic. Everyone expected more from a brand with this kind of platform. Wendy's should do the right thing and apologize and do better in the future. Let me know whose side you're on in the comments, and be sure to follow me for more celebrity news and pop culture.
If you didn't know, Wendy's and Katy Perry got beef. Ooh, that was a good one. Secret Service Sam here, president of TikTok, and the #1 comedy journalist here on the interwebs, thanks to you guys. Now, apparently Wendy's said, yes, can we please send her back? In response to Katy Perry going to space. Now, nobody quite knows why Wendy's chose to go after Katy Perry. Some women are upset about all of the negative publicity. I know Gayle King is, I know Katy Perry is, I know Lauren Sanchez is. I even saw Jessica Alba, who love Jessica Alba. She's one of the best movie stars on the planet. She's brilliant. She said, knock it off, guys. And I do support Jessica Alba, so knock it off. But after this, anyway, people are getting funky about this space trip. What do you guys think? Why would Wendy's go after Katy Perry and say, keep her there, send her back? Wendy's, can you answer for this? I mean, what would Dave Thomas say? That's all I gotta say, man. Huh? About his daughter going after other women in space? I don't know. Does anybody have any more information on this? Beep, 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 beep. I need it. If you know it, send it to Secret Service Sam. Love you guys. Secret Service Sam out Samson for president of TikTok.
Guys, loving the hate for Katy Perry recently and how she's insufferable, whatever, but I thought we knew this. Let's just run it back to why we might think this. A couple reasons. Yeah, there's a law named after her named Katy Perry Law because of the amount of financial abuse she's done to elders. Oh, and then she made an album with Kesha's abuser about women.
Okay, like, here's the tea. Katy Perry and Katy Flop Perry and the stands of Katy Perry, okay, want to cancel Wendy's, girl. Now, I'm just telling you, I'm not a Wendy's stan either, girl. Like, I haven't been to Wendy's in about 25 years. Maybe I will go there, use the bathroom or something like that, but there ain't nothing up at Wendy's I want. But what I am featuring about Wendy's is that they are so shady, girl. They read Miss Floppery for filth, and now Katy Perry fans, all 12 of them, are looking to cancel Wendy's, and it ain't gonna happen, girls. Wendy's, you know, she won the reading challenge, girl. It is that, girl. I'm here for it. Yeah.
Wendy got that motion. For you to get in live and have 570.k viewers watching you, that's motion. That's one thing you gotta respect about the Hispanic community. They ride for their people. I guarantee you, that's a lot of her people in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? One thing about Mexicans, boy, they gonna stick together like a good old family. Could never be some black folk. Let's keep it 100 though. If black people stood together like Mexicans stood together, we would be just as powerful. You know what I'm saying? There'd be a lot more black greats. Problem is when it comes to black folks, the next black motherfucker don't want to see the next black motherfucker up because, you know what I'm saying, they feel like, oh, why you gotta be the nigga to be, you know what I'm saying, to shine the glow. They always want to be the star. Or Mexicans be like, hey, you know what, I know you a star, I know you born for this, I ain't gonna hate on you, I ain't none of it, I'ma support you. Love. DDG said it himself. He said, man, most of my haters are black people. He didn't specify black people, but he says people of my skin tone. That's 100% of the fact. Look, shit, even half my followers on here are Mexican, and they supportive than a motherfucker. I swear for God. That's why I say I love y'all. I love y'all. Te amo. Te amo.
It started with a space mission, an all-women crew, a tweet that many say went too far, and now we've got threats of lawsuits, public backlash, and internet detectives working overtime. Let's break it all down. So here's how it all began. The world was celebrating a landmark moment, a historic all-women mission to space. It was supposed to be a feel-good moment. You know, rockets, science, progress, girl power, cue the inspirational music. But then, in comes Wendy's, yes, the red-headed queen of spicy Twitter roasts, with a tweet that dropped jaws across the internet. In response to a post celebrating the all-women crew, Wendy's official Twitter account said, "We should send her back." Now you already know the internet doesn't play. That tweet lit a fire under people, and not in the fun viral kind of way. Within minutes, users were demanding answers. Who is her? What did Wendy's mean by that? Was it just a clumsy joke, or was it a targeted jab? And that's when things got messy, because it didn't take long before people connected the dots to one of the mission's most high-profile supporters, Katy Perry. Now, Katy Perry has always been outspoken, supportive of female empowerment, and let's face it, she's been the face of many girl boss moments. She'd recently posted about the space mission on her social media, calling it a giant leap for womankind. The timing was unfortunate, because the tweet from Wendy's came just hours after her post went viral. Coincidence? Maybe, but in the world of Twitter, perception is everything. Katy Perry's team did not take the comment lightly. Almost immediately, a spokesperson released a statement calling the tweet reckless, offensive, and wholly inappropriate given the timing and context. And they didn't stop there. Reports began to swirl that Perry's legal team had reached out to Wendy's with a formal demand for an apology and threatened to take legal action if the brand didn't retract the statement and clarify its intent. Now let's talk about Wendy's Twitter game. If you've been on the internet for longer than 5 minutes, you know they're infamous for roasting everyone, customers, celebrities, even other fast food chains. It's part of their brand. They're known for being edgy, witty, and sometimes walking a very fine line. But this time, many argue they stepped over it. Critics say that even if the tweet wasn't directed at Katy Perry, the phrasing, "send her back," has a deeply problematic history. It's been used in political contexts, often loaded with xenophobic or sexist undertones. So even as a joke, it didn't land well. Some users defended Wendy's, saying the internet has become too sensitive and it was clearly just a joke about space. Others said it doesn't matter, the brand should have known better. As the backlash grew, Katy Perry's fans took to social media under the hashtag #SendHerBackNotFunny. The movement gained traction fast. Fans began flooding Wendy's posts with demands for an apology. Some even started boycotting the chain, posting pictures of themselves tossing out burgers and fries with dramatic captions like, "Empowerment greater than cheap jokes." And let me tell you, when Katy Perry fans mobilize, they don't play. These are the same people who camp out overnight for concert tickets and memorize every lyric to Teenage Dream. Now they were channeling all that energy into calling out what they saw as a tasteless attack on their queen. Meanwhile, Wendy's was silent. Not a tweet, not a statement, nothing. For days. And in internet time, that's an eternity. It made things worse. People started speculating. Were they ignoring the situation? Were they preparing a legal defense? Were they secretly loving the attention? Finally, after almost a week, Wendy's broke their silence with a very carefully worded statement. They said the tweet was not directed at any individual and was meant as a lighthearted comment about space travel, and they apologized for any confusion or offense caused. But here's the kicker. They didn't mention Katy Perry by name. Not once. That didn't sit well with her fans, or her team. They clapped back immediately, saying the statement failed to acknowledge the damage done, and sidestepped accountability. Perry's lawyer went on a morning show and called the apology PR fluff, and said they were still considering legal options. Now, this is where things get spicy. Because if this goes to court, it won't just be about one tweet. It could set a precedent. Can a brand be held legally accountable for a vague, arguably careless social media post that appears to target a celebrity? Especially when that celebrity claims reputational harm. Some legal experts say it's a stretch, but not impossible. It all depends on how the court interprets intent and public reaction. Others say it'll probably be settled privately, with an NDA and maybe some hush money. Either way, it's not looking great for Wendy's right now. And if you think this whole thing is just an overblown Twitter drama, think again. This controversy has sparked wider conversations about brand responsibility, digital tone, and the fine line between edgy and offensive. Other companies are watching closely. Because if Wendy's takes a hit from this, you can bet a lot of brand managers are going to be rewriting their social media policies overnight. In the midst of all this, social media users have been having a field day. Memes exploded. One viral tweet said, "Wendy's just gave us a new menu item, Katy Fried." Another posted a mock-up of a new meal called the Apology Combo, with an empty burger wrapper and a large serving of regret. The internet stays undefeated. Of course, not everyone is on Katy's side. Some users say she's being too sensitive, that she's using her platform to silence jokes, and that celebrities need to grow thicker skin. But others argue that women in power, especially those championing equality and space exploration, deserve better than vague jabs and shady comments from burger chains. As of now, the story's still developing. There's no word on whether Perry will actually file a lawsuit or if Wendy's will issue a more direct apology. But the impact is already clear. Wendy's reputation has taken a hit, and Katy Perry has once again positioned herself as someone who won't take shade sitting down. So what can we learn from this? That social media is a double-edged sword. One moment, your tweet is going viral for being hilarious. The next, you're trending for all the wrong reasons. Brands need to think before they tweet. And celebrities, well, they've got every right to clap back. The Wendy's vs. Katy Perry showdown may seem silly on the surface, but it touches on some real issues about communication, accountability, and the way public figures navigate backlash in the digital age. Whether you're Team Wendy's or Team Katy, one thing's for sure, this story is a masterclass in how fast a tweet can change everything. And hey, maybe next time someone wants to make a joke about space, they'll think twice before pressing send. Because in 2025, the internet doesn't forgive, and it definitely doesn't forget.